Happening today, talks between the United States and North Korea are set to resume in Stockholm. And joining me this morning to talk all about what we can expect to see in the day ahead is Dr. Laura Lerman from Wright State University. I first want to talk, this is called a working level meeting. What exactly is that and why this meeting?
So it's important that it's working level. In fact, this is where the real work gets done. You know, in the past, we've been talking about we have the principles and we've got the visibility, but we didn't have the substance. It's in the working level meetings that you actually can achieve substance. And working level meetings in terms of negotiations mean you agree on basic principles. Each side or all sides would send representatives to try to work out the details. And that's what we haven't done before. They agreed at that DMZ meeting, if you remember in June, they agreed to move forward with meaningful negotiations and discussions. None of that has happened, so that's what's significant about this weekend in Stockholm.
Something also significant about this week is North Korea has actually confirmed that it has sent or test fired another missile. Yes. Is this recent missile test, do you think, related to these talks that were already planned this week?
I absolutely do believe it's related. Hours after the resumption of working level discussions was announced. By the way, it was announced in North Korean media first. Hours after it was announced, they launched this submerged ballistic missile. This is the first sea-based missile that they've tested in 3 years. It went very high, twice as high as the International Space Station. That's not the highest range that one of the missile tests has had, but nevertheless, it is still quite high. It was also a solid fuel base, which is more stable and easier to prepare than liquid fuel. This was a definite provocation, and it strengthens North Korea's hand going into these negotiations.
Which is actually a little, I want to say, concerning, I think, this morning. Do you think at any point should we be optimistic? I mean, with North Korea doing that, and do you know what I mean? Should we stay optimistic at this point?
I have significant concerns. I think we need to, and I've been saying this all along, we need to temper down what our expectations are. North Korea is not going to give up all of its nuclear weapons. They will not denuclearize in the way that we've been envisioning that. What could be achieved, there's a lot of discussion that there might be limited sanctions relief, maybe taking down some of the coal and textile sanctions in exchange for closing their major nuclear facility, or I think the best that we could hope for is a freeze on what their development is. And I think that's what's really imperative. We recognize that. There is going to be a special session of the United Nations Security Council on Tuesday. That was called for by a number of members. And this was definitely a provocation and a ratcheting up.
So do you think this will be a topic at that meeting on Tuesday then?
Yes, that special meeting was called behind closed doors specifically to discuss this.
Okay, well, we're definitely going to be paying close attention to this developing story. Thank you so much, Dr. Laura Lerman from Wright State University. We appreciate you being here this morning.
Thank you.